Commissioners, as we continue presenting the picture that we were seeing as we're investigating these interferences, one player in this puzzle is General Sibiya. So I want to invite the Commission to understand perhaps the background of General Sibiya, his arrival in the police, and his responsibility as a person appointed as a Deputy National Commissioner in the police. What I know of is that General Sibiya was appointed as a Lieutenant General, promoted to Lieutenant General in the police in July 2022. And I said earlier, the post of a Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, it's a heartbeat of the South African Police Service. That is where, according to the structure of the police, the organogram, that is where crime intelligence accounts, that is where investigations account, and that is where forensic accounts. So General Sibiya was afforded that opportunity in July 2022 to be appointed as a Deputy National Commissioner occupying this position. But before that, if commissioners allow me to backtrack, prior to his arrival in the South African Police Service, General Sibiya was appointed in the South African Police Service in 2022 after he had won a court case. He was originally an employee of the service and was working within DPCI before that, and he was dismissed from the service and he appealed his dismissal. A dismissal, I'm told, that the employer, which is South African Police that dismissed him, did not oppose in court. Subsequent to that, the court ruled in his favor that he must be reinstated into the service. But when that happened, at the time, General Sibiya was employed at the city of Johannesburg Metro Municipality. Well, I'm not going to dwell much on what was his function at Johannesburg Metro, but it's just interesting I'm going to be making comparison of what I became aware of on the record, which is a public knowledge of things that involves him at the city of Johannesburg, and I contrast that to what is happening in the South African Police Service. So when he was appointed, before he was appointed, the city of Johannesburg, upon learning that General Sibiya is going to be starting his work in the South African Police Service, the city of Joburg felt that it is important to bring to the attention to the Minister of Police about the pending investigation against General Sibiya at the city of Johannesburg.
General, for purposes of precision, is that a specific person within the city of Johannesburg or the council, the city itself? Who do you say brought this to the attention?
I want to invite the commissioners to look at MK23. It's on page 477 on my, it starts from 477 and it ends at 478 on the annexures. So these which are attached here is what I'm referring to, commissioners, that the city of Johannesburg wrote to the Minister of Police and they delivered the letter by hand, which the Minister of Police acknowledged it on the 20th of June 2022. And the Minister of Police at the time was General Sibiya. This letter, I'm going to read the heading. It reads as follows. Urgent request for the Minister of Police to intervene on the failure to disclose evidence of fraud and corruption which involves 3.5 million rand of unlawful benefit and 580 million rand irregular expenditure to the City of Johannesburg Municipality Council and the South African Police Service.
Perhaps to, or if I may, to further contextualize that heading, you might want to read paragraph 2 of that letter, which confines the request to a specific person. And give
Perhaps
the
maybe
purpose.
before I continue reading that, Commissioners, this letter is addressed, as I said, to the Minister of Police. It comes from the executive head at the office of the City Manager of Johannesburg in Braamfontein, and this letter was copied to the Speaker of the Council. And this letter is dated the 20th of June, 2022, and it was signed by Mesuli Mlandu, the Executive Director at the City Manager's Office. The paragraph 2 of this letter, if I read it as written here, I request an intervention of the Minister on the concealment from the Council and the hawks of evidence of fraud and corruption which involves the employment of Mr. S. Sibiya, the head of Department for Group Forensic and Investigation Services, HOD of GFIS in bracket, in receiving 3.5 million rand of unlawful gratification and causing 580 million of irregular expenditure. The letter is written, as I said, this is just part of the content of the letter addressed to the Minister of Police. So it's already warning about some irregularities within the City of Johannesburg that involves Mr. S. Sibiya. And they are saying here that as the city, they are writing this thing, bringing to the Minister of Police as contained on paragraph 6, if I may read it.
Perhaps you might want to start at paragraph 3 before you move to 6.
Paragraph 3. The paragraph 3 reads, it is urgent because I am advised that Mr. Sibiya may soon be taking up a senior position in the South African Police Service as from the 1st of July 2022, and thus escape being held accountable. I can also confirm that the then acting city manager, Mr. F. Brink, first reported this matter to the Gauteng MEC for local government, and the MEC did not intervene.
Then you can move to paragraph 6 you originally intended to read.
Yeah, paragraph 6 reads as follows. Therefore, to assist Council with these legal obligations, I request the Minister to urgently intervene and cause the evidence in the attached report to be tabled before Council. Also considering that Mr. Sibiya is still a city employee until he takes up employment with SAPS from the 1st of July 2022, the Minister of Cocta will be notified of this matter. So this is a letter that is written by the City of Johannesburg, and it is addressed to the Minister of Police.
Why, and of what relevance is it to your testimony?
The relevance of this is that the city felt that it is important for them to bring to the attention of the executive authority in the South African Police Service about the risk associated with the person that is coming to the organization. In June already, before he started his appointment in July. And they are flagging the 3.5 million rand ratification and a irregular expenditure that amounts to 580 million rand, of which was incurred, that seems to suggest that it happened under his leadership in the position that he was occupying as a forensic head in the city of Johannesburg.
In your statement, in paragraphs 266 and 267, in fact, up to 268, you succinctly capture the challenge, firstly, the issue of how the minister dealt with what was brought to his attention and the challenges that you have with the manner in which it was handled.
Please, before you go on, General, just explain to me the request made in paragraph 6 of the letter. The minister referred to there must be the minister to whom the letter is addressed, which is the Minister of Police, or not?
That is correct.
Now, what I don't understand is why somebody employed by the municipality should be requesting the Minister of Police to intervene and cause the evidence relating to what is being alleged to be tabled before council. Why should that be done by the Minister of Police?
Commissioner, the reason why the city wrote this letter to the Minister of Police, I cannot explain. But what of an interest to me is that the city is already flagging a risk that is associated with the individual that is coming to us. That there is this what the city is having a problem with, gratification of 3.5 million and a regular expenditure of 580 million that the city suffered as a result of this individual that we want to take, or that is coming to the organization.
So from where you are sitting, whatever the motivation for the writing of the letter, it does not matter to you. Your concern is more that the issue of the gratification had been flagged. That's what your concern is. That's what your issue is.
That is true, Commissioner. In an ordinary working of, especially in a department like the police, that is charged with the responsibility of upholding and enforcing the law, that you are warned of a person that you are about to employ who's questionable. And if proven these allegations, it will prove to be disastrous in the police. And at least with this warning, the management should have taken a decision of not placing this person in the heartbeat of the police. I mentioned earlier the position where he ended. But I must speed up, Commissioner, and say he arrived in the police as a Major General. When he left, he was dismissed from the service. And that was as a result of the disciplinary case surrounding the rendition of the Zimbabweans that were transported to Zimbabwe. So it was based on that. He was dismissed. There was an appeal on the dismissal. As I said earlier, the very same employer that dismissed him did not oppose that appeal. So as a result, the court ruled in his favor. So when he comes back, the organization takes him back because there's a court order now. But with this warning that comes, and I must then maybe retract back to say the employment in terms of what the Act is saying, the National Commissioner remains responsible for the employment. But there was an incident that happened back in the organization a couple of years back, where there's a section in the Police Act that empowers the National Commissioner to promote a person without advertising a position, can elevate you to another position. So it happened that General Khan from Crime Intelligence was a colonel in the police, was promoted from a rank of a colonel to a Major General at Crime Intelligence by the acting commissioner at the time, was General Mutiba. And that upsetted the minister at the time, was Minister Mbalula, who was the head of the was executive authority in the police. And that triggered the ministry amending the regulations on the Police Act. And that amendment, it brought about the consultation with the ministry before you appoint. That's why I'm making a reference to it, that in terms of regulation 39.4 of the police regulation, an appointment on this level of a Major General and higher must be made in consultation with the minister. So therefore, the letter with this warning addressed to the Minister of Police, then the minister had an obligation, because it's a caution list. So he had an obligation to share this with the National Commissioner. I do not know whether it happened or not. But what I know is that General Sibiya was appointed into the police and not, remember, when he left, he was at DPCI. When he came back, he was given a post of the head of organized crime in the police, at the head office. That's where he started. This is July 2022. Commissioners, fast forward. General Sibiya then gets promoted by the same organization that fired him and that released him when he made an appeal that did not oppose his appointment, that appoints him despite this warning from the city. Then the organization promotes him within a year.
Maybe I'm missing something. The letter from Mr. Mlandu,
Yes,
refers to a commencement date.
which was the 1st of July,
Yes.
2022.
So that means he had already been appointed, but he had not yet assumed duties.
I like to believe, I do not know of the court date. The court had already issued a ruling about his dismissal, and the court